All right, guys, Brandon from Boiler Room Trading. We do have another live trade example here for you coming up in the morning. As I posted on X and on Twitter, we have a gap at 17,440, and let's talk about it, right? So we have this little gap set up here that is just looking for a home to fill. And if you've seen the futures, these gaps are pretty common. You get at least a couple a week. This isn't the cluster gap where there's 1, 2, 3 different ones. There's just a single. So a single gap, it takes a little bit longer to fill. As of right now, we do have the low put in and then it higher load here, and then just had this big arc, right? And that's perfectly fine because we did call the short. If the last YouTube video up here at 17,706, nothing was going to go above that. This was the ending long right here. And then coming into that wash yesterday and so on and so forth, a little bit of news, a little bit of earnings popping off, we should have a continuation back down, potentially a gap and go. So two things will happen here when data comes out 7:30. We got GDP, jobs, a bunch of other stuff coming out. We're going to get a magnet down here to 17,440. We're going to fill this 1 minute algo gap. We're going to come on down. Let's see here. Right now, we're in average 17,490, and I posted this in my chat a while ago for that gap. We were way back here, just averaging into these trades, taking a little profit, and then scooting back up. All of the covers are set down right here, just above the gap at 17,441. So we have a bunch of different articulating signals here. Sellers are in control right here with the tall volume candle. We have a break of trend where we had this beautiful uptrend snap to a low, and now we're just consolidation in a nice square. Once this consolidation that is happening above the 666 and the VWAP on the 1 minute right here, we'll get a breakdown. And this big green line, 17,460, that's the 100 EMA daily. So that needs to also be a nice little crack and drop for us, and we need to stay under that to cause some panic. Now, is that going to be data in 20 minutes that we get the flush, or are we going to flush right here all the way down under volume area lows right into data, and then data is going to pick us back up? Doesn't matter to me. Regardless, we're already in short, and we do have an algo set up for this gap right here, so it should magnet down after all of this little consolidation breaks, and we'll get a nice little live trade example here as well again. So we called this one on X and Twitter as well, managed right through the trade. We started with, right around 2 to 5 contracts, and we slowly add in to get better averages during consolidation like this because, well, you just don't want to miss the trade. That's just a very, 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 very easy setup to do. So when we have these consolidation markers here and we're working on getting those moving averages to hit and confirm for us, this is what it looks like. So that rollover here on NQ breaks to the 100 EMA, breaks to the 200, comes down to VWAP and 6. What's it do? Has to backtest 200, 100, 200, 100, right by the volume area high, give you this weird consolidation square here as the indicators need to catch up, right? RSI needs to reset, MAC needs to reset, volume sets up. So we just get this static consolidation where you can get some good add points where you start shorts here, add in, start shorts, add in, and you can play the in-between. I've been just adding in. I'm up to 16 short right now. We're averaging right around 17,482, 83. We are up to 17,490 and a half now. So either way, the news coming out here in the next 20 minutes or the panic into news, we're going to look for just one of those fast-paced breaks, and it should come, with the volatility of the data here. So prior to the data, we have big GDP and big jobs data, so on and so forth. We'll see how long it takes, but it's either before data or right on data, and that's about it. So we'll keep this position on. I'll close the video for now. We'll pick it back up when we get our breakdown and our prediction comes to fruition. All right, guys, kicking the record back on here. As you can see, breakdown is continuing. We are looking for that quick, fast-paced snap of that 100 EMA that is right here to instill panic under volume area lows and potentially fill this gap. Like I said, all the orders are right here above gap. We called this about an hour ago, way prior to it happening. So we're just going to let it flow and do its thing. So we should see an opportunity for at least another 20-some points of panic. Like I said, prior to data, GDP or jobs, or right into it. And the interesting thing about jobs and the data and GDP lining up with the price action of technical analysis is this price action is going to panic down here to this call to 17,440. And if the news comes out down there or very close to, that's where we can get a reverse. So we could actually hit that reverse button and play to the opposite side. So as this panics down and this, let's say the jobs data comes in, it comes all the way down here, 17,430, 25 data comes in, that could cause it to come back to that 100 EMA back test as well. So we're going to look for a long down here near our short target. So always an opposite trend to play here. So like I said, these algorithms were good to go. We called this in the 1 minute. Everything should be a pretty easy follow through for that. And we'll be watching for the rest of the move to the downside here. So we just passed through that VWAP, just passed through the 666 as planned. Next is the big boy at 17,460. Need some big panic. If you notice, the MAC right here has got a really good cross. We got downside potential even on the 1 minute, but it'll take its time. Right now, the VIX is still maintaining above the 50 RSI. So on the 5-day, 5 minute, she's in the top channel. Same with the MAC, having a good uptick. So this is usually a point where I might cover some, but this one is specifically easy to me as far as the gap of the way the trend is and how the chart looks. And as we covered before, consolidation points like this are one of my favorite bearish consolidation trades because we're coming into this consolidation with a big old volume beat candle right there where sellers are in control. We just needed to back test a couple of those moving averages. So once it broke through the 100 and 200, obviously just back testing those moving averages and volume area high points as resistance, and so on and so forth, until we get back down into that lower channel. So a couple pushes back above the RSI here, no big deal. Resets, the indicator is re-looped down. And now we're stuck in the bottom of the channel, and now we can continue that downtrend on the market. So the next big consolidation, again, this might be through data. We got 15 minutes, but if we get another 5 to 8 minute consolidation here, and then the big panic prior to news, or just the news comes down, slaps the algo and comes up, doesn't matter. All of our orders are above the gap and should fill just fine as long as we don't have any platform issues or any scams by any people controlling the numbers here. So we'll see how it goes. 17,444.50, 17,441.50, and in between a couple of those fills that we're looking for. So we'll bring you back onto the live recording here in a second once these are played out. All right, guys, bringing you back. We're getting close to the fill as predicted, coming down to that 100 EMA here, 17,460. And this is where that panic candle that I'm talking about has to come in. VIX has a little bit more room to get over hot here, but just started speeding up to that downside there. And again, we're just watching this one super close to get under volume area low and attack the 17,440 prior to the news. We got 12 minutes till data, GDP, jobs, so on and so forth. So this is where you want to see some big, fast panic. Now, we didn't quite hit that 100 EMA, so if there's a little static back here, we don't get the panic quite yet. So be it. If we have to wait till data, so be it. Doesn't matter. But right now you can see the SPY coming into those volume area lows, and SPY keeps resetting the Qs here, the NQ, because SPY definitely has a lot more instance hold on the market. So it's going to do what SPY wants to do a lot more than what Qs wants to do. Do have a little bit of a head and shoulder action here. Not my favorite pattern in the slightest, but you notice right here, after we get into the volume area low under the blue line here, always pops back up pretty decently, and then has to start bombing to the downside if it really wants speed, but it keeps getting picked back up here so far. Yeah, no big deal. So we're just kind of waiting for the rest. So we'll try to keep the record on here. It's only another few minutes here, but that is a fresh low and pushing into the 100 EMA daily. This is where you're going to get, again, a little static, a little back test area because we broke above here. So that 100 EMA is this neon green on the daily, breaks above. And what does something need that breaks above a price level or moving average? It does need to come back down and test confirmation, and then you will get that confirmational support. So if you were shorting into that first little 100 EMA spot, that'd be a fantastic first cover point, and then leave some on for the trail down to the gap fill. But yeah, right now we're hitting that little bit of that confirmation. We're probably not going to get too much higher over that VWAP or 666. This is about the top right here at the VWAP. So everything under 14,472 area here, this is where you want to see that turnaround, maybe on a new 30-minute candle, and that's going to be obviously data. So we'll see. We got a new 15 coming up, or we're into a new 15 right now. So the next 15 is going to be a new 30 as well. So let's see if one of those pressures push you. But right now, doing okay. We'll bring you back towards the fill, so we don't just sit here and stare at the old chart and drag out the video. Be right back. All right, guys, last little bit of the video here. We did what every great trader should always do. Locked in some profits from the 16 contracts, not holding through data, not giving this thing an opportunity to really chop you up too much or do a huge retrace all the way back. And then you start from square one. You always want to take profits. And of course, the garbage SPY down at that -2 VWAP again, and under volume area lows kicking us up. So yeah, we're going to wait for, we're going to hold a small amount through the data. Obviously, we are realized right around 7 grand right now, 6,400 or so. So again, we might get a flash crash right into that. We got 2 minutes left, about a minute 10 left in GDP and jobs. So let's get that. So one thing here to look for, if we do have this consolidation, starts to scam out on you holding that 100 EMA daily over here, does you a little pop and drop and then drains out and hits it, that's fine. Then you don't risk anything major, because if it goes back to entry, we get stopped out at profit stop above here, in a 17,500 range, and it starts to go above 17,500, a big psychological hold level. That'll be my stop, and then we'll probably be around somewhere around the 5,000 mark for green. So regardless, it'll be a huge trade, and we'll be watching here through data. We'll give it about 30 seconds till we click into GDP and jobs, but just be mindful. It's not a cluster gap down there. It's not 2, 3, 4 different gaps. It's just one. So it takes a lot longer sometimes to fill those. So let's see what we get for the old job skis here. And we got 4 left on. And again, we got this coming out in just a few seconds here. See what it does. We got our order set. Couple points above that gap fill, so we get a snap up right there, scams all the longs, tricks them into buying, and then slams her down. That's the huge. But because the algo gap is
order filled
futures, we'll have to see which way she goes. Big snap up. I don't know where my order went. It just gave me an order fill. I don't remember having a stop point up there, but okay. Orders filled. I don't know what happened there, but
order filled.
Order filled.
There's the gap fill. So it just filled all my PA accounts. Just got everything done there, and
order filled.
Order filled.
That's it. 890,000. What do we got? 1,000 plus on the day here. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in for the live trade, guys. That is it. We got 5,400 green. I don't know what happened. I didn't have an order up there. It just randomly closed my order. It didn't pay me out on the 4 down here. So I didn't have a stop set. You could see my positional on there. I'll have to see what happened there in the old Ninja Trader. But, I catch them scamming a lot of the time. PA accounts all worked out perfectly fine through data and just filled at the gap. And those are all up about $1,100 too. So, yeah, congrats anybody that's seen that on Twitter.